edition of ACB Caribbean Coach's View. This afternoon, we will want to invite you to stay with us and to let us have a talk with one of our female coaches here in Antigua and Barbuda. Not just one sport, but at least 3 sports. She has done some sort of a training as a coach. But before we get to her, we just want you to know that ACB Caribbean is our platinum sponsor, and they have been with Parish League Cricket for the last 43 years. So you can visit them right down at the bottom of St. Mary's Street, also right here on the mid-high street where you have the ACB Mortgage and Trust. Simply better banking, ACB Caribbean.
On behalf of the entire Cecil Charles Group of companies, Cecil Charles Company Limited, Tico Pharmacy, Hutchinson Antigua Limited, Antigua Farm and Gardens, and St. John's Pharmacy, we would like to thank you all for your support over the years and wish you a Merry Christmas, a happy, prosperous, and healthy New Year.
Your order will be processed immediately. Thank you for calling Mega Distributors. On behalf of management and staff of Mega Distributors Limited, we wish our fellow citizens of Antigua and Barbuda a very Merry Christmas and a happy, healthy, and prosperous 2022. We thank you for your continued support and look forward to seeing you at our location on American Road, or you can call us at 562-6353 or 562-6354.
It's beginning to look a lot
like Cool and Smooth is the #1 place to shop this Christmas. Yes, we are ready. Yes, ready for the Christmas season. Come in store to see all our new arrivals. Now in stock. Ladies' shoes, ladies' clothes, men's shoes, sandals, sportswear, furniture, chair sets, fridges, stereo sets, waffle makers, deep fryers, ice coolers, dressing tables, and of course a Christmas tree to pack all these goodies under. Although I'm not sure how you're gonna put a dressing table on that Christmas tree. Nevertheless, don't let these great items pass you by. Plus 20% discount on selected items. Cool and Smooth is your #1 stop for Christmas this year.
We, the management and staff of Pell Plumbing Electric Limited, would like to wish each and everyone a Merry Christmas and a bright and prosperous New Year. We are located on Herbert's Main Road in the purple and white building. We are also asking everyone to stay safe, follow the protocols, wash your hands, wear your mask, social distancing, because we are hoping to see everyone in the new year.
Hello, here is Bransford wishing you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Here at Bransford, if you're not having a happier Merry Christmas, come on down to Bransford. We will help you do that. We have everything for all your needs. We're located on High Street where we sell all the big teddy bears at a very good price. You can contact me on 771-2282 for more info. Have a Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
And welcome back. And we will go straight into our coaching skill for today before we introduce our guests. And our coaching skill for today is how to make it fun. Now, a lot of the times, even though we're coaching adults, sometimes we are working with children, and we don't want to bore them with what we believe are things that are important. One of the things that is very important as well is to make sure that the athletes or the participant, they have fun. So it is very important that we understand how to make the training session, how to make practice, how to make any sessions that you're running fun. And so we'll look at the 4 points that make up how to make it fun while we're coaching. The first one is to get them active quickly. We don't want to have them loitering about and being mischievous and doing things. And if they're adults, you don't want them sitting down there and thinking about what is going to be and wondering what's going to happen. So obviously, you as the coach, you must be there early, set your things up, have your lesson plan, so you get them active quickly. The second point in how to make it fun, provide a variety as well as challenge. So you want to provide a variety of activities and you want it to be a challenge. You want them to push themselves. They're competing against something, enjoying it. Especially children like to know that they're competitive, they're competing with somebody. 3, maximize involvement as well as success. So you definitely want to make sure that everybody is involved and everybody believes that they have accomplished something in terms of that afternoon or that morning session, whatever time you may have it. The last one is to give positive feedback on the effort as well as performance. So you want to tell them at the end of the day, well, I thought that you were doing well, I thought that you did it quite well, I believe your performance was quite good. You want them to really and truly leave that session going away, believing it was a good day for me. I'm really looking forward to coming back tomorrow or the next time you have a session. So it is very important, and remember, you can contact us here at Untitled Parish League for these coaching skills. They're available to all. We want to make sure that our coaches understand what it is to be complete and to make sure whenever you turn out to train or to coach that at the end of the day you're giving value for money. We'll go straight into introducing our guests, and this afternoon we have Lorraine Charles, and Lorraine Charles is a female coach. I believe that she has done the Antigua and Barbuda Football Association B license. She has done the CONCACAF C license as well. She has also done her foundation courses in cricket and netball. So she's quite rounded, and she's also the daughter of a well-known past cricketer from Liberta, Winston Mohammed Charles. Lorraine, good afternoon and welcome.
Good afternoon.
Now, here on ACB Caribbean Coaches View, we speak to our coaches. We don't interview them. We want their story. We want them to tell us what are they expecting out of coaching, how they see coaching, how they see sports moving in Antigua and Barbuda. So tell our listeners, why coaching?
Maybe because it's my community is so well-rounded in all the different sports, and being involved with the sports club, and also remember I'm a PE teacher by profession, so I must be well-rounded. So maybe it's actually coming from there.
Okay, now you have actually coached the Antigua female team. We know that you've been around. You said you actually into physical education and so on. You've been around the Black Hawks in terms of the assistant coach to the head coach and so on. How have you been accepted as a female, coaching teams with so many, males involved? What is the respect and the appreciation like?
For my village, my club, it started when, my head coach was absent a day. He called, and say he's not gonna be able to come in the afternoon. So before I went down, I was wondering, oh my, if the guy's gonna really accept me as coaching him in the afternoon. And I went down, told them I was going to take charge of practice, and the respect that I got, I'm telling you, it's real good. In terms of at the national level, some male coaches will actually look down on us because we are females. And I don't know why. Probably because they think they have more experience, but when it all boils down, we have the same license, so I don't know.
We see males coaching tennis. We see males coaching netball, and these are sports that females play. Do we as males, it's about time we get over it and realize that, listen, coaching is a profession, just like driving a bus, just like teaching, and it doesn't matter who coaches, once they can deliver, once they understand what they're doing. Is it about time that we have that discussion and let the males know that, listen, coaching is not a male profession. As a matter of fact, I'm not sure if there's any male profession. They're all profession. Is it about time that we really and truly respect people for the decision they make in life, rather than thinking, look, I'm a man, I should be doing this work rather than a woman? Is it that time that we have that discussion?
It is actually about time, because you can't be looking down on female coaches when you're the same male that want to coach female. Now, if you're coaching female and, for instance, the player decides that they don't want to play anymore, they want to get into coaching, what are you going to tell that player?
You're a female. You see, the whole thing about it is that, and we're trying to get our coaches to understand that the role that we have to play as coaches, the role coaches have to play, it is more than just turning up. It is about developing people. It is about changing lives. And I really don't see the difference if a male can do it or if a female can do it. Once we understand that what we are doing, that we are touching people, when we walk out or when they walk out, they're different, they're better because of us, they're better because of you. And so I certainly agree with you that it is about time that we have that talk, and let people understand that coaches don't have a gender. Coaches don't have, that is not one of the role of a coach. Nothing in the book that says that you have to be a particular gender to coach a particular team. But tell us about some of the experiences, some of the challenges that you have as a coach in general, especially when working with the younger athletes.
Well, I've worked with footballers from like age 4. Sometimes it can be a bit challenging, especially with that age group, because they might not get at first what you're trying to teach them, but as they go up, it becomes easier. So it actually makes the job a lot easier.
What about the parents? Do we need to see more support, especially the younger ones? Do we need that message to go out to the parents that you need to come in to be a part, you need to appreciate that your son wants to do? And before that question, do you think, you have a son, did you ever tell him what sport you want him to play?
No.
Do you believe coaches or parents should tell their children what sport to play?
I believe it should be the decision of the child, because some persons are multi-talented, they can play either, and you have parents that will tell them, this is what I want you to play because I've played that, or there's an ex-family member that played that, so this is what I want you to play. But I think it should be left to the children, decide whichever sport they want to play.
What about those parents who would say to you, oh, but my child, they're too young to make decisions on their own? What do you say to them?
They need to come out and watch them and see. If you're just going to say they're too young and you don't know, come and watch, come and dialogue with the coach and you see what happens.
I actually like that. Come out and watch and see, because you're right. Too many of them maybe sit in the homes and they make decisions for the young athletes, male and female. I saw this clipping where it actually was a cartoon, but it is something that we can relate to, where the the dad wants the son to be a skater. He wanted to be a skater, but they had this skate dancing class, and that is what the youngster was into.
Skate dancing.
Yeah, and the dad said, no way, not over my dead body. And the youngster ran away from the practicing with the whatever sport or whatever they were doing on the ice, and went. And when they had the competition, he went, and when he went to drag him out of the competition, he saw everybody cheering. And when he was done, everybody said, this is the best we've seen. And all he said, I knew my son had it. That's why I let him come. And so what you said there is so right. They need to go and see the young boys and young girls in action, see how much they're enjoying what they do. And then you can say, look, if that's what you want to do, I want you to do something for me. How would if you try something else? Would that be something that you would, if you say to your son, listen, I know you love football, I know you love cricket, look, I want you to try tennis and see what it is like, see if you like it.
Well, I actually had that experience last week, because football is actually on pause, and cricket, there's basketball training for school. So I told him, my son, to get the form and maybe you can try out for basketball. He actually went, came back, he told me not going back.
Exactly, because he felt probably he didn't like it.
Yeah, and I'm not going to force him.
Exactly, and you never know. It could be just that one experience, maybe what he was looking for, it wasn't there, and that was a turn off for him. And if he don't like it, forcing him to play will really and truly.
I might, and then if I'm forcing him, he might get turned off from the other two sports that he actually love.
Do we get enough support from the parents though?
No, not at all. Some parents just like, let's say for instance the Saturday morning group that we have for football, parents will just drop them off and then ask myself or Parish, what time training finish? And they'll just show up at 11.
So what would you like to say to those parents?
Come out and support your children. You need to watch them. Don't just leave them, drop off and come back. You need to come and spend some time, see what your child or children doing.
And tell us from your view, what do you think is support? Because a lot of them will say, oh, I support them. I take them to practice and I pick them up every time. What in your words is support?
Come, watch, talk to the coach. How did my child do it today? When the child is finished, even if you don't understand what is going on the field, tell them good job, and you know that kind of stuff.
I think it is very important. A lot of the, like you mentioned, and most of the coaches that we speak to do have that problem where they believe that their sessions are like a babysitting. Like if they
sometimes it feels like you go out to babysit.
In terms of nationally, I'm talking about from the associations, the parents, even the athletes, the general public, do we give coaches the respect that they should get?
Some coaches don't get the respect.
Why is that? What do you think is the reason for that?
Okay, for me it's maybe because it's a female. Some, especially for the dads, probably think that a female is not good enough to coach their child, but I don't know why. I'm honestly trying to figure out all now why.
How can we change that? What are some of the things? What are two things that maybe we can do to sort of let people realize that, look, the coach is just as important as the principal, just as important as the guy that fixed my car, the guy that served the gas, the guys that come and check my electricity.
Just come dialogue. The association, if you decide that you want to have a chat with the head of the association, do so, and hopefully the head of the association speak highly of you as the coach.
Where would Lorraine want to be in, say, 5 years? You've just started. You have coached the national females under 20, under 17.
I've been with the under 15, 17, right. 20, and seniors over the years. And
you've done some netball coaching. You have done really well with the Liberta Primary School. They've won a number of championships. You have also won a championship as assistant coach in the National Football Association with the Blackhawks. And so, where do Lorraine Charles would like to be in the next 4 or 5 years in terms of sports?
I would love to be a pro-licensed football coach. I just don't want to leave it there either, because I have a level 1 in cricket. So wherever it is, if it's sports, it's Lorraine.
So you would like to see yourself as helping, to mold the
younger
athletes.
Ones. Yep.
And talk to me about netball. What do we, from your perspective as a coach? You used to play netball as well. Very agile in the middle, very very creative as well. What has happened? What do you think has happened? Why we're not seeing people coming out, especially the young girls, to play netball?
Well, actually, see that trying to get back to the village league. That would make a big difference, and the school league. For me, the school league, all the games don't need to go to YMCA. You understand? Because they're villages with courts. So if we have Liberta versus Irene B or Irene B versus All Saints, we don't need to go to YMCA to play that. If we stay in the village, obviously we're going to have spectators. We're going to have younger people coming out to watch, and they might say, I want to do that. Probably for my school next year, I'm going to register for netball. If we get that done, we will see a big difference.
What about the people who would make this happen? The coaches at the lower level. Do we have enough? You think we have enough netball coaches? Why aren't we having more netball coaches?
I don't believe we have enough.
But why aren't we getting the netball coaches?
Well, they need to be qualified, and the association probably need to put on coaching courses, even the foundation, and then we can build from there. We can't sit back and depend on coaches from 20 years ago. At some point, they will retire, and when they retire, what is going to happen? You leave us with nothing, or sometimes you're going to leave us with one coach with 14 schools, and it's actually happening right now.
One coach with 14 schools?
One coach. Sometimes you have one coach per zone, and you can think about how many schools in one zone with one coach, one netball coach.
Wow, that is a lot. That is a lot of work for one coach. For one.
And then if the private schools decide to take part, it's actually the same coach.
You spoke about moving games away from the YMCA. You think that the games need to be decentralized? They need to be spread out more in the communities?
Spread out more in the communities. Like I said, if we have a game in Old Road, one in Liberta, up east, and so on, you will find more people coming out.
A lot of people told me that they didn't even know that Liberta School used to have a netball team in the last 10 years and so on, because they never see them play over. Is that one of the problems, that people in the community don't even know because the teams go out and...
Because they go out. Only when Liberta School win championship, they know, wait, Liberta School have a netball team or a basketball team? Because we have won netball, 2 times since I'm there? So they don't know. When it's on social media, then you will hear them say they didn't know.
So we want to appeal to the people who organize the netball and so on. You hear that? from one of the most decorated female coaches in Antigua. We need to decentralize some of these sports. We need to get them out in the communities, get the parents involved. Maybe the parent might come home early and go and watch my child. Because I can remember back in the day, we used to look forward to going down to the court to watch Liberta. To watch Liberta play. Those days people used to watch netball like what, and the courts were packed.
And basketball as well, yeah.
You know, so I think it is a good call. You know, it is really a good call, and so I believe that the associations will need to pay that some visit. What about in terms of coaches and coaching? There is a fee paid when you do your qualifiers, your levels, your coaching courses. Now, is it time? And I know that we may speak to clubs, some clubs can afford it, some clubs can't. But is it time that we get a body that represent coaches so that they have a standard right across the board? Say Lorraine is a B license, ABFA B license. So all ABFA B license, whenever they coach at the national level, they should get $800 per game or whatever. Is it time that you pay to get these qualifications? It is about time that coaches be remunerated whenever they perform at national duties, because they are giving their time voluntary at club and community and so forth. But is it about time that when they reach that national level, that incentive will be there, that you get a salary?
Because if I'm just going and there's no reward in the end, coach is going like, why am I doing this? So we need to actually come together, as you said, especially if you're representing at the national level. There should be some reward for you at the end. Then you will see other people get more interested in doing so. Fight until you reach to the top.
We have a number of disciplines in Antigua with coaches. So we have a number of coaches. From your view, what would be the best way forward? Every discipline, football, cricket, netball, volleyball, basketball, swimming, tennis, athletics, have their own coaches association, or we have one national coaching association that entails everybody. So we have one voice speaking for coaches. Which do you think would work better?
For me, I really like it individually, but I'm not saying that we can't really have a coaches association, but I really love it individually.
Why you think that would be the better one?
Because for me, if we leave it at everybody under one, let's say I am at the top, right? I love football. Where you think my interest is going to be first? Who players? You think which set of coaches you think I'm going to focus on first?
Right, but the thing is here, you will, for instance, we will categorize coaches. For instance, we'll have all A coaches in each discipline. You have A coaches in football, A coaches in cricket, A coaches. So when you say all the A coaches will get $8 per day, then it will be all. So it would matter. So what I would suggest, something like that, you would categorize the coaches. So all the coaches will be in a category. And whenever you're arguing for it, you're not arguing for a particular sport, but you're arguing for a category. Yeah. So whatever category you fall in. Now the thing about it then, that is where now maybe the associations would be the one to say, look, Lorraine is a B coach, Kenny Benjamin is a C coach. So that when they send that to the coaches association, whenever they are going to represent that individual, they have it from the association that this is what you have to pay him, because this is the grade.
That's a good idea.
That
it's a good idea.
I think that we are small, and too many associations may just create, because one association may look cross, or one set of coaches may look cross. Like you're saying, the cricket coaches may look cross and say, hey, the football coaches who coach the national team get $500.
That it means that you should actually push yourself.
Well, you see, but the thing about it, that may be what their association negotiates for. But if it's one association, they will say right across the board, once you're the head coach for a national team, any national team, once you're the head coach, this should be your salary.
It should.
If you're the head coach for under 19 or under 23, this should be your salary, and so on. And so I think something that maybe can be debated.
Yeah.
The two ways can work, but I think it needs that discussion to see which is better. Obviously, the people who you would want to be your negotiators would be people who just have the interest of coaches at heart and not a particular sport.
I understand.
We're gonna take a break, and we'll be right back. Obviously, we want you to know the people who keep us going here. Our platinum sponsor, ACB Caribbean. They have been with Parish League cricket for over 43 years. They have been sponsoring Parish League cricket, and so we want you to visit them today for simply smarter banking. ACB Caribbean.
On behalf of the entire Cecil Charles Group of Companies, Cecil Charles Company Limited, Tico Pharmacy, Hutchison and Teagle Limited, Antigua Farm and Garden, and Restream Pharmacy. We would like to thank you all for your support over the years and wish you a Merry Christmas, a happy, prosperous, and healthy New Year. Your order will be processed immediately and thank you for calling Mega Distributors. On behalf of management and staff of Mega Distributors Limited, we wish all fellow citizens of Antigua and Barbuda a very Merry Christmas and a happy, healthy and prosperous 2022. We thank you for your continued support and look forward to seeing you at our location on American Road, or you can call us at 562-6353 or 562-6354.
What is the number one place to shop this Christmas? Yes, we are ready. Yes, ready for the Christmas season. Come in store to see all our new arrivals. Now in stock. Ladies shoes, ladies clothes, men's shoes, sandals, sportswear, furniture, chip sets, fridges, stereo sets, waffle makers, deep fryers, ice coolers, dressing tables, and of course Christmas tree. All these goodies on there. Although I'm not sure how you're going to purchase it on the Christmas tree. Nevertheless, don't let these great items pass you by. Plus 20% discount on selected items. Cooler Smooth is your number one stop for Christmas this year.
With the management and staff of Pearl Plumbing Electric Limited, would like to wish each and everyone a Merry Christmas and a bright and prosperous New Year. We are located on Heavis Road in the Purple and Red Building. We're also asking everyone to stay safe, follow the protocols, wash your hands, wear a mask, social distancing, because we're hoping to see everyone in the New Year. Wishing you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Here at Brandfulness, if you're not having a happy and Merry Christmas, come on down to Brandfulness. We will help you do that. We have everything for all your needs. We're located on High Street, where we sell all the printed goods at a very good price. You can contact me on 771-2282 for more info. Have a Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Welcome back to ACB Caribbean Coaches View. We're here this afternoon with Lorraine Charles, a well-decorated female coach in Antigua. She wears many hats a national female coach, a cricket coach, and also a netball coach. She has done her levels in terms of these three sports. Any favorites? Which is it that you would really like to excel in?
Football.
You want to excel in football, but as you say, wherever the road takes you.
Yep. Wherever it takes me.
We know that FIFA wants to see more female staff, especially around the female football. We know here in ICC wants to do similar. They're trying to get as much female staff around the female game as possible. Do you see yourself making a big effort now that they're starting female cricket in Antigua? They want to make it big in the Caribbean in terms of developing the female game. Do you see yourself playing a very significant role in terms of community, in terms of national, maybe even regional?
Yeah, it actually has begun in the community. I've actually started. I'm just waiting for the next step. Like I always say, wherever the road takes me, I'll go. Whenever they say they're actually ready for me to do the next level up, I'll make sure I'll be the first one to be there.
In terms of you as a coach, obviously you interact a lot with the athletes. I'm going to ask you to talk to us about what are some of the things you would like to see at the community level in terms of, maybe coaches' support. You're in a community and you give your time, you try to help develop some of these, and what are some of the things you would like to see at the community level so that coaches can be supported better?
Well, if I'm actually working in the community and the children coming out, parents come out and support, other coaches come out and watch, and if you see that there are children that would come out and let's say today they don't have no water, no Gatorade and so on, and if I show up at a business place and ask if probably you can give us 1-2 bottles of water, that would be greatly appreciated. Not just to say, can't give it to you right now. That's going to be a big turn off for the coach. And in terms of other coaches coming on to watch, if you have other ideas, give it to us so we can pass on to the children. Because we're actually working together and nobody's better than nobody. If you have ideas, share it. Because there are actually coaches that would sit down and have ideas and don't tell you one thing. There are actually people out there like that. But for us to move forward in the community, everybody have to come out and work along with each other.
So you believe that the message should be, it is about the athletes?
It's about the athletes.
They don't come and sit down and say, Pash, Lauren, I believe you should do so. So go and say, Lauren, I watched you yesterday and I felt what you did was nice, but how about if you were to do so, maybe it would work a little better?
That's what it's supposed to be.
So you're looking for more interaction. More involvement from people, past players, coaches,
right.
The business community. Because at the end of the day, if you're in a community, we're the same ones who go and purchase stuff from those businesses, isn't it?
Exactly.
So the more you support, the more we support.
Exactly.
What are some of the challenges though? What are some of the challenges though in terms of we're not seeing a lot of young athletes in the community participating. We're not seeing a lot of associations organizing these these young athletes from a very early age. A lot of the times we do see some people playing sports for the first time when they reach the secondary school. You work in a secondary school as a PE teacher and you also coach. What are some of the challenges you have with some of these athletes who are playing for the first time when they reach the secondary school? What are some of the things that you believe makes it a little bit more difficult for you as the coach?
It starts from primary school. You can't tell me that you have PE teachers, coaches in the primary school. What are you going to the school to do if this child is going to a secondary school and then wait until they reach the secondary school to want to play a sport? And for me, I was working in the primary schools for like 15 years. And whichever school I work,
you're giving all your age to listen
no, I'm
I'm
still young. For whichever school I work, it could be marble competition. The children going in. So we're going to start from there. You can't wait until you reach the secondary school, and then when the children go out to play, some coaches actually want to make noise on them. It starts from the foundation.
So you're telling me it's a two things here. One, that you believe that in the primary school, the children should be overloaded with physical activities. They should be playing all the games and competing and so on.
Well,
whatever the ones that they want to play.
The ones that they want
Right.
to play. And in primary school, it's the foundation of everything. And if you see a child excel at a particular sport, you know you can talk to the child. Don't really tell them, I think this is what you should play when you get there. Let them choose, but at least give them the foundation for everything at the primary school. When they hit on the 14 age in the secondary school, they decide this is what they want to play. Let them go and play it.
You were at the primary school. Who determines whether or not that school plays in a particular competition?
I'm the boss. For me, I'm the boss. I know when the coaches come into the school, they have to dialogue with the principal. The principal can't just make that decision and say, no, the school not participating, and don't come and have a talk with the PE teacher.
But what if they do?
Well, me and that principal go head to head. And they know that I'm not going to back down. I'm speaking for me. Or the PE teachers probably will just let that be.
So what do you think should be the best format in terms of coming up with a decision? You have a PE teacher, you have coaches, you have the principal, who's the chief administrator. How should it work? Who should make the first move, or who should say, look, we can't afford it, or we shouldn't play? How should it go? Tell the listeners what happens at your school.
No, I can speak for...
Yes, speak it from your school.
From my school.
Mm-hmm.
They would come in, they would talk to the principal.
The coach, that's the coaches.
That's the coach, right. Talk to the principal. It's myself. We have two PE teachers at my school. She would call both of us and we have that discussion. And you know, for me, I don't want to hear nothing about they're not participating. Why? You have to have a good reason. Why? Is the child sick? Some principals will actually tell you it don't make no sense because they're going to lose. But you have to start somewhere.
And so maybe it is about, again, having that dialogue, because school sports isn't about losing, is it?
Nope. Development.
Right. So when a coach wants to play, because the children want to play, they want to go out and enjoy themselves, and the principal is thinking that they're going to lose, maybe that principal needs some coaching.
principal needs some coaching. You know what can happen too? For the different discipline, the head of that discipline should probably call meetings and invite the principals, let them know what is going on. If you understand, and then when the coaches come into the school, it won't be so difficult. Get the principals involved, because some of them actually think is academics only. But we have to get sports involved. You have to be balanced.
If you have a school competition, it is likely that one school would win.
Of course.
What if all the other schools who think that Ivan B. William will win decide, look, we're not going to play because we're not going to win? You know, and it is something that you said there that is really important, and it is real. We hear those kind of comments, or you can't play, so I'm not going to let you play. But the thing about it is that I have seen people, for instance, I've always said to the guys back at Liberta, I remember when I was in South Africa, I used to see Money Markle used to come down to the club with his bigger brother Albie Markle, and we used to call him the left-handed giraffe, because he just looked like a giraffe. He was long, he was lanky, he didn't look athletic. And when I heard Money Markle was one of the top fast bowlers in the world, that was when I said, look, if he can make it, anybody can make it. You know, and so it is something for coaches to understand that they need to drive that in parents, drive it into the athletes, drive it into the principals, that it is not about winning every time. It is about giving opportunities, letting the children go to participate, to get involved in physical activities, and they may just like it, and just the fact that they like representing their school, they may want to pay more attention in math class because you understand, all of a sudden I start to appreciate school some more. They may want to start coming to school every day because they don't want to miss a day of practice, you know, and it is a domino effect. You get children happy, you get them involved, you get them interested, and all of a sudden the whole demeanor changes in terms of wanting to come to school. And what have you seen in terms of the long-term effect that it got on you as a coach? When the people who you coach that go on to do well, when they see you and so on, or even some of the parents, how do they feel about you? What are some of the things that they would say to you?
Right now, I still have Raheem de Turvel. He's actually in Spain. He would call me, teacher, so and so happened today at training, and what do you think I should do? It makes me feel really, really good. And to see the female players that are off to college and talk about you, it makes you feel really good.
So obviously, you still have these sort of connection. These athletes still keeping in touch because you have changed their lives.
Yep.
So what is next in terms of Lorraine? What is the next thing that you have your eyes on as a coach?
Just to go on forward, whatever happens. I'm actually looking at another team in football. I was just with the under 17 last month, and looking forward for the next team that I will have to coach, get them ready for the next competition.
Do you see yourself as one day maybe being head coach of maybe a local Premier Division team?
One day. I'm actually looking down that road. One day.
And so you're taking it one stride at a time.
One step at a time.
So in terms of that, what is the plan? Do you go and take up a second division team, then you move up to first division, or do you believe maybe it is best you work with someone and then you take over? What is your strategy?
I'm actually working with someone club level. Every day I go, I learn something, so that when my chance comes, I'm ready. So working along with someone right now at the the club level, that is what I'm actually doing. Probably 2 years from now, I would be ready for males.
What would you say? What is it that you would say? What would Lauren say to the other females out there who wants to get into coaching, but they are a little bit skeptical because for some of the reasons that you spoke about? Oh, it's a man playing. We got to coach man. They may know. What would you say? What advice would you say to someone who really want to get into coaching, but just a little bit apprehensive because of some of the things that they hear going on out there?
Hold your head up. You're a coach, you're going to hear the negatives, the positives. Just focus on the positive. You can't take on what the other is going to say. If they don't have nothing positive to tell you, probably you just don't want to hear. But just go out, do what you have to do. If there are courses offered in a particular sport that you want to coach, make yourself available. Don't sit back and wait for that association to call. You make the first call. Let them know the next time a course come around, you're interested, and then you take it from there.
Do we need to see more effort though? Do we need to see more effort from the associations, all of the associations, in terms of getting our coaches up to higher standard? Do we need to see them? Because we hear the complaints and we probably see it, that maybe the quality of our sports is not as high as we would want it to be. Do you think the associations need to pay more attention to the people who actually develop these athletes? Because we see that you can't teach now without you go to college. You have to get that training first, and then you go and get your degree and so on. Is it about time that we start to look at our coaches as the people responsible for making the sport better, even at the early level, the people responsible for getting our children out there and making them fulfill their potential sporting wise and so on? So do we need to see more effort from the associations?
Definitely. Different associations need to get up off of the money.
Are you saying the associations have money?
Some of them have money.
Which associations have money?
I don't want to say, but get up off the money. Spend. So if you want,
if you know they have money, why you don't say who have money?
No, I don't want to say. Spend some money. If you want better results, the coaches have to be educated. Put on courses so that the coaches can better themselves. And then we will see better results.
What would you say to the people and so on, like me, people like me who probably will say, listen, you want to be a coach, you want to reach the maximum heights in terms of coaching, why don't you spend your money and go and get your qualifications, and then when you come back, whoever wants your service got to pay for it? What would you say to that?
Halfway.
Which half?
Half and half. If you as a coach really want it, let's say you go on social media, you notice that there's a course in Trinidad and you as a coach can afford it, just go and deal with it. If you don't have all, you go to the association and ask. And if they turn you down, what is that saying of them? But sometimes courses are here. Put yourself forward to go and get it. You can't just sit back there and everything gonna come in your lap.
But are these courses advertised well enough? Are they out there, or is it a selected few?
Sometimes it's a selected few, and then sometimes when you find out it's actually 2 or day before. And remember, if you're working, you're going to need the time off from work. So sometimes we need to put it out early enough so that people have enough time to do the necessary things that they need to do so they can be available for the course.
So this is one area where maybe the associations need to get the PR machinery out.
Yeah.
And whenever there's an opportunity for courses, all people who have an intention and who have an interest should actually know.
Yeah, that is what should happen.
Because if you're saying that sometimes people find it a little bit late, because we do have a challenge here. We do hope that our coaches really and truly get up and understand that they are the ones who will dictate where the sport goes, how far the athletes reach, and so they need to get themselves educated. And so coaches need to pressure their respective associations to find ways and means, even if it means that the coaches have to pay sometimes for that course. It is for you, and
the reward is in the end.
Exactly, the rewards will be there once you go and educate yourself. Now, a female coach, you have coached with boys, you have coached girls. What's the difference? What is the approach like in coaching boys and in coaching girls?
It's a difference. I mean, with the girls, you have to go there and be stern, because they will just laugh and giggle, and you can't just go and act soft, because your first approach that's lasting. In terms of boys is a bit different. I don't know if because they understand the game a little bit more than the girls. The girls would take a little bit more time. But for me, I'll stick to the girls.
You will stick to the girls. Do you think, you mentioned something earlier where maybe enough of the activities not happening in the primary school? You think that's one area we can improve in terms of the young girls, get them to be more active, get them to understand, listen, when you go on a football field, you're an athlete.
Uh-huh.
And so this nice fingernail and this long hair and so on, even though you have those, you can't be thinking about them on the game. Should we get them more involved and educate them at that level?
At an early age, at the primary school level. Everything should start at the primary school level.
And what about that parent who never played sport and we say to you, not for me, daughter, you see what your fingernail long, I'm fishing nail one, bro.
But if I can see potential in that child, I'll pressure you. I actually had an incident with that at the primary school level, where I noticed this particular girl at C.T. Samuel Primary School when I was working there. Every lunchtime the boys would go out and play football, and it's on the court, because at the school they don't have a field. And she would just out there, the only girl out there. And I watch her, I see potential. Then the mother came to me and said she don't want her child playing no football. So she actually bought her a hard shoes, not a sneakers for school shoes, a hard shoes. So the child came to me and said, P teacher, what should I do? I tell her, wear the shoes your mommy tell you to wear and walk with the sneakers in your bag. And it happened. She played. That child ended up and was on the national under 15.
Parent must be proud.
Wait, now the mother went away. Remember, all along, primary school, she don't want the child playing no football. Our competition was in Orlando. The mother came to the game in Orlando, and she said to me, I'm so proud. Thank you so much. Trying to shake my, I didn't shake her hand.
Why?
I was so upset. You're the same mother that they wanted to play no football.
But that mother now might just go back and encourage other mothers and other parents.
The child is actually at senior level. No.
Playing football.
Playing football.
Well, Lorraine, that was a very thrilling story there, and we're going to leave it there because when you come on this program, the time always seems to run away. But we want to give you just 30 seconds. Just put it together for us. What would you want to say to those people out there who believe that sports is something that they don't want to support or they don't want their children to get involved with? Just put it in a package for us. What would you want to say to them?
Support your children, no matter what they decide to do, support them. And that's about it. Just support the children in everything they do.
Lauren Charles, cricket, football, and netball coach right here in Antigua and Barbuda. We want to thank you very much. We want to thank you, our listening and viewing audiences. We want to thank our sponsors as well, especially our platinum sponsor, ACB Caribbean. I'm Kenny Benjamin. You've been watching ACB Caribbean Coach's View. We will see you here again next week. Have a good afternoon.